Hi everyone, I'm coming live to you from the lake. This is going to be a review of my 2013 Seadoo GTX 155S. So this is the GTX that has the suspension. And I've had it for about 3 months now. I bought it in May and it's currently August. So I've put about, let's see here, I've put about 35 hours on this jet ski, and this is the only jet ski that I own. It's actually the only jet ski I've ever owned, being the first one. And I've only ridden a jet ski once before, and it was a rental, which was a 2018 Yamaha Wave Runner, VX Deluxe. So yeah, I rode it once and felt like I needed a jet ski, so I bought this one. For performance-wise, this thing has a lot of get up and go. I, being 250 pounds, can see about 50 on the speedometer. In pretty calm waters, about 45 is mostly what I see in kind of rougher water. And you can kind of get even a little bit more top speed when you trim it out, which I'll explain in a little bit later. But it feels plenty fast, super fast. If you stand and give it full throttle, the front will kind of come out of the water for a few seconds. It's not a spark, so you're not going to be doing any water wheelies on this thing, but it feels plenty powerful. You can certainly pull someone behind you. It does have the power. It's not scary powerful, but it is powerful to kind of scare you for a little bit, especially if you have two people on. This thing does not drive good with two people. It feels a little topsy-turvy. Had to change the scenery up a bit. Someone's pulling their jet ski in. I was right by the loading area. For handling, this thing does really well. I've only been thrown off once, and that was when I got a little too overconfident with full throttle and a really big turn. So this thing handles beautifully. You can do circles, it feels super sturdy, super stable. You don't feel like you're gonna fall off. If you have two people on, it does get a little tippy in the turns, like rocky-wise. But if you're the only person riding it, it feels great. Like, I don't feel like I'm gonna fall off at all. You can take turns at super quick speeds. It feels great. Yeah, I love how this thing handles. It has variable trim, which adds to the fun. So that's VTS. It adds a lot more fun to it because you can trim up the nose and be able to turn more steadily, or you can point the nose way down in the ground and or in the water, and you can get some super, super aggressive maneuvers where if you turn and give it throttle, it will dig in and turn, which is how I got thrown off twice. When I just gave it full throttle, leaned in and caught a wave at a bad time, or just was zigzagging and just hit it really bad and went for a swim. That being said, it does thankfully have a reboarding ladder in the back. So even for a big guy like me, it's super easy to get on. You just swim up to the boat, to the jet ski, stick a knee on the step, grab the grab handle at back, and just yank yourself up there. It's super easy, super stable. The jet ski's not gonna tip over like if you know the early 2000s jet skis. For fuel economy, this thing is not particularly economical. I mean, I've burnt through about half tank's about, I think it's 16 or 18 gallons worth of fuel. I've burnt through about half a tank in less than 4 hours before, which I mean isn't bad, but if you're going full throttle or if you're doing a lot of like aggressive driving maneuvers with a lot of throttle, you'll burn through the fuel really quick. And then it seems like if you're already at half tank, going from half tank to the bottom 2 bars, the gauge just drops super quick. Like in 2 or 3 hours of riding, it'll drop all the way down and start beeping at you. Maybe that's because I'm having fun on the rough waters or something, but it drops pretty quick for how much fuel it uses. But other features that I love on the jet ski are the mirrors. You got 2 mirrors here, so you can see left and right behind you to see if there's anyone creeping up. You do have sport mode and eco mode. So sport mode is way more responsive throttle and not tapered to the acceleration, so you can pull out of the water quicker. And eco mode, it just slows the watercraft down acceleration-wise, so it doesn't accelerate that quick, which is nice for beginners or if you want to save fuel on a particularly long, huge lake. Mine has the IBR, which is the intelligent brake and reverse. So while driving on the water, I can pull the brake lever and it'll come to a stop. I can also go in reverse by just holding the brake lever and then using the throttle to move it back and forth. It's got plenty of space, so I have a big front trunk here where beneath the steering wheel. I do have another pretty big trunk up there that's removable, and then I have a rear hatch for like tow cables or for the safety kit and fire extinguisher. It's pretty small and mine fills with water, so but there's plenty of storage for like a day of riding or a few hours. Tons of storage. Here is the overview of the storage upon the 2013 Seadoo GTX. So we have this rear storage. This houses my safety kit and then some of the docking lines. Now mine always gets wet. You can see some water down there. It's because, well, that's not good. Yeah, as you can see, my clip is broken. I just broke it trying to open this to show you. So I'll be replacing that, but my seals leak. As you can see the water running out. So these seals leak, water gets in the compartment. Here's the water with, I have a spare bottle of water with fire extinguisher. And here is a huge compartment. I have a Bluetooth speaker, some water bottles, some sunscreen in there. So this is a pretty big compartment, like, you know, pretty big. And then here's the thankfully watertight compartment. I keep more bottles of water in here. It is fully watertight and it is removable. And with 2 hands, it is removable, so you can take it on land or whatever. What sets my jet ski apart from a lot of the other GTX models is, well, mine doesn't have a supercharger or the big engine. Mine just has the 155 horsepower, but it does have the suspension. So between the actual body of the hull, there is another movable hull. So when I hit waves or rough waters, it just feels like you're driving super soft. I've never had like a hard bash besides, you know, when I'm trying to jump the waves and stuff. But it just cushions it so well, gets you that nice stable footage of the jet ski as well. So it's a lot of fun. I enjoy this jet ski a lot. The other features that my jet ski has that not a lot of the models have is the adjustable steering. So if I'd like to ride standing up, I can tilt the handlebars up and down. That way I can ride standing up, and the gauges move too, so I can see the gauges as well. Now, moving on to the cons, I just touched on it briefly, is the second passenger riding. So if you have someone riding with you, this model, particularly with the suspension, is a little tipsy-turvy, just due to having a second passenger. Especially in the corners, you can feel it. So you kind of have to have your passenger lean with you, and it feels a little bit unstable. I've only had passengers on here like 3 or 4 times, so that's a very limited experience. Maybe if I got used to it, it wouldn't feel as shaky, but that's just what I felt. And then additionally, the one thing that having the suspension, the thing that causes issues is that you will have water come between the hull and the part that moves, and that water does not come out. Like if you tip the trailer all the way back, that water doesn't come out. I've tried leaf blowing it out, but it doesn't go anywhere. Plus the next time you ride, it fills right back up with water, which is unfortunate. I've tried getting a shop vac in there, but I don't have a long enough nozzle, so that water's just stuck there, which is unfortunate. And this is just the suspension models. If you have a regular hull, you shouldn't have this issue. So to summarize this review, this jet ski is awesome if you have like back problems or joint issues, because it is cushioned really well, so you're not hitting your butt directly on the water. There is some suspension, and I've got back issues, so I can ride 8 hours all day long without being super sore the next day. My legs don't hurt, my arms don't hurt, my back doesn't hurt. So if you're looking for a jet ski with suspension or a good jet ski that is comfortable, I'd highly recommend the GTX-S, the one with the suspension, because I've loved it. It's great for it's great for the power. It has great handling. You can ride super aggressive to it. Like I don't even think I've even come close to pushing the limits on this thing, because you can feel where the limits are, but I don't want to push it any further than that. It accelerates pretty quick, and I think when I bought it, I got a great value for it. I paid like $9,000 with, I think it had 150 hours on it. It was well maintained. It just had some cosmetic things that it still has, because gel coat. But yeah, I'd highly recommend this suspension jet ski if you're looking for one that has suspension that you can ride all day long without any issues. So far, I've been super happy with it. Now, where I ride is mostly Minnesota lakes, and I've had no problems in all sorts of weather. Granted, I'm at not riding it on Lake Superior. I did take it on Mille Lacs Lake, if you're familiar with that Minnesota huge lake. That was a no-go. You're jumping waves every second practically. There's water coming over the side. Well, generally that's for boats and not jet skis, so that's expected. But I didn't tip over, I didn't fall, I didn't drown. This thing held up great for 10 minutes of riding and then back to the shore. But yeah, I love this jet ski. It's fantastic, especially for the money.